Good morning, YouTube. You already know. Big Flacco from ACP, the Convict's Perspective, man. Top of the morning, man. Rise and shine. It's program time. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support this channel, and hit that bell notification for future fire content. Now, we're going to get straight to it. We're going to talk about the new Folsom, the interview that I did, because people are talking about it, they're reacting to it. And let's get out there the facts first and foremost so people get a better understanding. Sometimes people have information that's limited in front of them, and they don't have the right information at times, and it's not their fault. This is what they read or read between the lines or someone else puts out there. Now, first and foremost, let's say this. The individual, Green, there was 3 of them allegedly in this case. Green was basically contracted out to hit. Now, he doesn't talk about this in his debriefing on this case, right? But basically, a correctional officer had got at them to basically hire some goons to deal with someone that he had some issues with. Okay, that's the first incident. Second of all, when he did this interview, Monster had already been sentenced to 102 years, and shortly in 2022, the other individual was sentenced to 34 years. This interview took place in 2023, so they had already taken their deals. Now, only thing that's really going to hurt anyone would be Monster when he goes back to the parole board years later, but he has 102 years. He ain't going anytime soon, and so that's the only time it may hurt him. Is that the other guys? They're not the ones talking. They're not the ones doing this and that. It shouldn't affect them. They're going to have their case in front of them either way. They're going to make the decision based upon what they're doing, not based upon what one said 34 years ago. What that dude said has nothing to do with them. They've all taken deals. They were all on camera too, guys. That's the thing about it. When you're caught in front of God, the camera, and everybody, there's not much you can really say, okay, to really defend yourself. Now, I wouldn't advise you to go dry snitch on yourself just because you're on camera, but it's not going to hurt them any more than what they have on that camera. That camera is going to hurt them more than anything, not the statements or interviews that's being given. That's something that's going to be expected of some individuals once you know that, hey, I'm never going to come home. And that's where Monster's position is. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this. There was a practice run the week before to make sure that they could get it right and get it done and how they were going to do it. So all the people's speculation or rumors are, hey, that this is what happened. It did happen. You got to remember, these guys are doing a lot of time in prison. And it's kind of hard to be a whistleblower, right? That's something that should have never happened, based upon the fact that if you do, there's going to be consequences by the CDCR staff. You know what I'm saying? But it is known. It's the truth, man. I've been told straight up that they did a practice run the week before. So that's the issue I have mainly with this new Folsom incident is, fuck what they were saying, fuck what they did. Administration was behind it. Correctional officers were behind it. Now, I don't condone what they did, but that's their business, not mine. Taking off on handcuffs, that's not how I've ever gone down, In fact, I caught a battery on an inmate in the hole in the shower, but I gave him a chance to get his cuffs off. As soon as the cuffs came off, I scraped them in the shower, in the hole. Anybody been to CMC East knows exactly what I'm talking about. They shower you in floors. I beat the brakes off this dude, and they couldn't stop it. And like I said, a target that can't fight back, that's hard for me to even want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. It's the cost of doing business, I guess, with prison politics at times, man. War is war. I'm glad KQED brought up this case because it goes into all other situations, man. A lot of people have been doing things behind the walls, setting fights up, staging fucking, situations where people got hurt, all because they have a position of authority or they're an officer. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that whole code green camaraderie and, always back up your fellow fucking green. Come on now, man. Just like I said with regular law enforcement, we need to hold all law enforcement equally accountable. Just because you didn't commit the crime, but you witnessed it, doesn't mean that you should be given a fucking free pass. Oh, you didn't do it, but he did. No, you seen it, so you should report him. When you start, like I said, I always said that they should start having new, stricter rules for correctional officers, which would be like repercussions for certain actions. Lose your pension, lose your job, and that's it. One strike, you're out. And one strike, you're out if you witness it and you don't do nothing to try to stop it. Now, CDCR needs to be sued about a lot of things because these inmates aren't being rehabilitated. How could you be rehabilitated when you're staging fucking fights, when you're asking for gang members to kill another man, and you're helping them do a practice run in the process. How can you fucking say that you're there to do your job as an officer when you're fabricating paperwork? As for Monster and his character, man, he's like any other individual that's lost in the belly of the beast, man, that's just trying to find himself while he's there and has accepted his fate that, hey, prison's the rest of my life. And when you accept that prison's the rest of your life, it's different than just doing a prison term. Your mentality changes. Either you're going full throttle or you're gonna backslide 100%, man, to nothing. And that's the truth, right? So to some people, this is all they have. And that's the fucked up thing about it. They don't have no future out there in the streets. They don't have no future this, future that. Their life behind prison is all they have. There was another muerte that happened not that long ago where it was on, I think it was in Corcoran, I believe, right? And it was a youngster that was killed because they have that program for 25 and under. And they had a dude that had life sentence in there with a kid that had maybe 2 years and was fresh in the prison get killed. How do you know that that's not a potential risk or a threat? I thought you were supposed to house people by their level of custody in accordance, to set procedures. Now look at the situation they did with Snoop. Another situation needs to be talked about. Regardless if you like Snoop or not, they put him on the same yard that he had a write-up in 2018 or 19 on conspiracy to commit murder or assault. You heard it, man. I think it's commit assault. You have your keepaways from that day on. And IGI briefs everything up on Snoop when he comes in that prison. They knew that dude was there. They knew damn well he was there. So they can't hide that. Someone allowed that to happen for some reason. As far as the interview, yes, it was a very colorful interview. Yes, it has a certain taste to it. Okay? But this is who he is. This is his truth. This is his story. I didn't hear him mention anybody by name except for the one that had turned on them. Okay? In addition to that, their cases had been resolved by the time I had dropped this interview. Way before. He took his deal in 2021. Okay, so if people thought that he was dry stitching or doing this and that, he didn't know what his co-defendant situation was because he hadn't been in contact with him, and he had already took his 102 years back in 2021. Now, when it comes to doing interviews of individuals' truths, right? I'm not going to tell them to sugarcoat it. However they feel about it is how they feel about it. Otherwise you're putting out false information or you're putting out a false prophet as far as what they intend to advocate. He's being very honest and truthful in his part of whatever happened. And he accepts his consequences. I don't think a lot of you viewers realize how much assistance correctional officers have been giving inmates in New Folsom when they want to deal with somebody. When they want somebody hit. When they want something bad to happen. They've been staging these dudes in bad situations for a long fucking time. The California prison system is probably in the top 5 as being the most violent prison systems in any state. With that, you have to put certain securities upon yourself, your roommates, all kinds of stuff. You have to really be ready anytime that something could happen, that something could jump off. I really see another federal investigation that is going to come of all this different allegations, right? Because it's right there in front of everybody's face what they've been doing. But as we know, man, if you know you're going to be doing a long time and you want to do your time in the most safest and possible way for you, you got to really think, man, that, speaking too much about a situation or exposing certain things could have certain ramifications. Correctional officers are going to fucking attack. But if you go about it right, secure the right type of counsel and protection, right? I say expose all this shit that's been going on, man. Because all these high-power killings and hits that we've heard about here and there, there's no way they could have been done without the assistance of administration. Yogi was another one. His killing, right? That could not have gone down without the assistance of administration, and they knew that was going to happen. I know people have been reacting to the video and they say the raw unedited version. Come on, man, there's only one version that's on YouTube that I did, man. You guys crack me up with some of the stuff that people say, man. I don't mind that anybody uses it to react to. That's cool, you know what I'm saying? But think words have a very they have a very fucking damaging cost at times if people present things wrong or misinformation, and sometimes I question if that's done deliberately or just happens out, that's how they feel, or even by accident, you know. But with that said, man, I've had a few conversations with Monster, and there's a lot more that you guys do not know, right, that really needs to be known and put out there. And there's people that are starting to put that type of information out there. These correction officers were basically drafting their fucking manpower for their squads to do fucking shit when they wanted to have it done. Fucking crazy, guys. That's it, your boy Flacco, ACP, Convict's Perspective. Let's start May outright. I'm gone.